You know what's interesting about success? It's not about having special powers or being born lucky. It's about what you tell yourself every single day when you wake up. Think about that for a moment. Every morning, millions of people wake up around the world. Some become great, while others stay stuck. What's the difference? It's not money. It's not talent. It's not luck. The real difference lies in what they tell themselves every day. I want you to try something right now. Close your eyes for a second and think about the last thing you told yourself this morning. Was it, I can't do this? Or this is too hard? Or was it, I've got this? Or today is my day? Because here's the truth. Those small thoughts you have every morning, they're not so small after all. They're the building blocks of your future. Let me share something with you. Years ago, I met a young man named Marcus. He grew up in one of the toughest neighborhoods in Chicago. No money, no connections, no fancy education. But every morning, he would stand in front of his cracked bathroom mirror and tell himself 9 specific things. 9 things that changed everything for him. Today, Marcus owns 3 successful businesses and helps other young people from his neighborhood break free from poverty. How did he do it? It started with what he told himself every single day. Picture yourself 20 years from now. You're sitting in a comfortable chair, looking back at your life. What do you see? Are you seeing someone who played it safe, who never took chances, who let their dreams slip away? Or are you seeing someone who fought for their dreams, who pushed through fear, who made their mark on the world? Here's what most people don't understand about success. It's built in those quiet moments when no one's watching. It's built in those morning conversations you have with yourself. It's built in those decisions you make when things get tough. Will you tell yourself, I can't, or I can? Will you choose comfort or growth? Will you settle for less or push for more? Let me tell you something that might shock you. Your brain believes what you tell it. That's not just some feel-good talk. That's science. When you tell yourself you can't do something, your brain starts finding reasons why you can't. When you tell yourself you can, your brain starts finding ways to make it happen. It's like programming a computer. What you put in is what you get out. Let's talk about something that most people struggle with, feeling worthy. You see, worthiness isn't something you earn. It's not something you achieve. It's something you already have. But here's the problem. Most people spend their whole lives trying to prove they're worthy instead of simply accepting it. I remember meeting Sarah, a single mom, working 3 jobs to support her kids. Every day, she'd drop her kids at school, work until midnight, then study for her degree until 2 a.m. People told her she was crazy. They said she should be realistic. But every morning, she'd look in the mirror and say, I am worthy of a better life. Today, she's a successful business owner who helps other single moms start their own businesses. Here's what keeps most people stuck. They tie their worth to their achievements. They think they'll be worthy when they get that promotion, buy that house, or reach that goal. But that's backward thinking. Your worth isn't in what you do, it's in who you are. Think about a $100 bill. If you crumple it up, step on it, and get it dirty, does it lose its value? No, it's still worth $100. Why? Because its worth comes from what it is, not what happens to it. You're the same way. Your worth isn't determined by your mistakes, your past, or what others think of you. Your worth is built into who you are. When you tell yourself, I am worthy every day, something powerful happens. You start making decisions from a place of worth instead of a place of lack. You stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You start pursuing your dreams without feeling guilty. But here's the key. You got to say it like you mean it. Don't whisper it. Don't say it with doubt. Say it with your chest. Say it with conviction. Say it until you feel it in your bones. I am worthy. Say it when things are good. Say it when things are bad. Say it when you succeed. Say it when you fail. Let's get real about growth. It's not comfortable. It's not easy. It's not always fun. Growth is like working out. If you're not feeling some discomfort, you're probably not growing. But here's what most people get wrong about growth. They wait for it to happen to them instead of choosing it every day. Think about a tree. It doesn't just grow when conditions are perfect. It grows through storms. It grows through drought. It grows through harsh winters. And that's exactly how you need to approach your growth. Not as something that happens when things are easy, but as something you choose every single day, especially when things are hard. Every morning, when you tell yourself, I choose growth, you're making a powerful decision. You're telling yourself that today, you're not going to take the easy way out. You're going to take the path that makes you stronger. You're going to embrace the challenges that make you better. I met a man named Robert who lost everything in the 2008 financial crisis. His business, his house, his savings, all gone. Most people would have given up. But every morning, Robert would tell himself, I choose growth. He didn't just look for another job, he learned new skills. He didn't just accept his situation, he used it as fuel to build something better. Today, his new business is 3 times bigger than his old one. Why? Because he chose growth over comfort. Here's what choosing growth looks like in real life. It's taking that course that scares you. It's having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. It's admitting when you're wrong and learning from it. It's pushing past your comfort zone, not just once, but every single day. When you tell yourself, I choose growth, you're not just saying words, you're making a commitment to yourself. You're saying that today, you're going to be better than you were yesterday. Not perfect, better. You're saying that today, you're going to learn something new, try something different, push a little harder. You want to know something interesting about challenges? They're like weights in a gym. The more you lift, the stronger you get. But most people see challenges and run the other way. They pray for an easy life instead of praying for the strength to handle a tough one. Let me tell you about James. James was born with a learning disability. Reading was a struggle. Writing was a battle. School was a daily challenge. But instead of letting these challenges defeat him, he did something remarkable. Every morning he'd tell himself, I embrace challenges. Not I accept them, not I deal with them, but I embrace them. Today, James owns one of the largest tutoring companies in his state, helping kids who struggle just like he did. When you tell yourself, I embrace challenges, you're changing how your brain sees difficult situations. Instead of seeing problems, you start seeing opportunities. Instead of seeing roadblocks, you start seeing stepping stones. This isn't just positive thinking, it's strategic thinking. Think about it this way. Every challenge you face is preparing you for something bigger. That difficult client, they're teaching you patience. That tight deadline, it's teaching you efficiency. That setback, it's teaching you resilience. When you embrace challenges, you're not just getting through them, you're growing through them. Here's what embracing challenges looks like in practice. When something difficult comes your way, instead of asking, why me? Ask, What can I learn from this? Instead of trying to avoid challenges, start seeking them out. Look for projects that stretch you. Take on responsibilities that scare you a little. Remember, the biggest challenge you'll face isn't the situation in front of you. It's the voice inside you that wants to play it safe. That's why telling yourself, I embrace challenges every day is so important. It reminds you that challenges aren't your enemy. They're your trainer. They're not there to break you. They're there to make you stronger. Life is going to throw things at you. That's not a maybe. That's a guarantee. You'll face disappointments, setbacks, and unexpected challenges. But here's what most people don't understand. While you can't control what happens to you, you have complete control over how you respond to it. Think about this. Two people can face the exact same situation and get completely different results. Why? Because of how they choose to react. One person sees a layoff as the end of the world. Another sees it as an opportunity to start that business they've been dreaming about. Same situation, different reaction, different outcome. I met a woman named Lisa who lost everything in a house fire. Everything she owned, gone in a single night. Most people would have been broken by this. But every morning, Lisa would tell herself, I control my reactions. Instead of letting this tragedy define her, she used it as motivation to help others. She started a nonprofit that helps disaster victims rebuild their lives. Today, she's helped thousands of families recover from similar situations. When you tell yourself, I control my reactions every day, you're building a mental muscle. You're training yourself to pause before you respond, to think before you act, to choose your path instead of letting your emotions choose it for you. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about managing them. When something bad happens, feel the emotion, but don't let the emotion feel you. Take that energy and direct it somewhere useful. Turn that anger into determination. Turn that disappointment into drive. We live in a microwave world where everyone wants instant results, instant success, instant wealth, instant happiness. But real success, real growth, that's slow cooker business. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes showing up day after day, even when you don't see immediate results. Let me tell you about David. He started his YouTube channel 5 years ago. For the first 2 years, he had less than 100 subscribers. People told him to quit. They said he was wasting his time. But every morning, he'd look in the mirror and say, I am patient. He kept creating content, kept learning, kept improving. Today, his channel has over 2 million subscribers and inspires people around the world. When you tell yourself, I am patient every day, you're not just practicing patience, you're building resilience. You're telling yourself that good things take time, that overnight success is usually years in the making, that the best things in life can't be rushed. Think about a bamboo tree. For the first 4 years after you plant it, you see nothing, just a tiny shoot poking through the soil. But in the 5th year, it grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. Why? Because for those first 4 years, it was building its root system. It was laying the foundation for massive growth. Being patient doesn't mean being passive. It means working consistently, even when you don't see results. It means trusting the process. It means understanding that every small step you take is moving you closer to your goals, even if you can't see the progress yet. Remember this, patience isn't about waiting. It's about maintaining a good attitude while you work for what you want. It's about staying focused on your goals, even when the timeline takes longer than you expected. One of the biggest mistakes people make is comparing their chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. They look at where others are and get discouraged about where they are. But here's what you need to understand. Your journey is yours alone. It's not supposed to look like anyone else's. I remember meeting Michael, a 45-year-old man who was just starting medical school. People told him he was too old, that he should have done this 20 years ago. But every morning he'd tell himself, I trust my journey. Today, he's not just a successful doctor. He's one of the most sought-after physicians in his specialty because his life experience gives him a unique perspective on patient care. When you tell yourself, I trust my journey every day, you're doing something powerful. You're giving yourself permission to be where you are. You're acknowledging that your timing doesn't have to match anyone else's. You're accepting that detours, setbacks, and unexpected turns are all part of your unique path. This isn't about blind faith. It's about understanding that every experience you've had, every challenge you've faced, every failure you've encountered has been preparing you for what's next. Nothing is wasted when you trust your journey. Here's what trusting your journey looks like in practice. It means staying focused on your path even when others don't understand it. It means being okay with taking the scenic route when everyone else is on the highway. It means recognizing that your disadvantages might actually be advantages in disguise. Remember, life isn't a race. It's not about getting there first, it's about getting there whole. It's about gathering the experiences, wisdom, and strength you need along the way. When you trust your journey, you stop rushing and start growing. You stop comparing and start appreciating. You stop questioning and start believing. There's a big difference between doing something and doing your best. Most people live their lives at 70%, just enough to get by, just enough to avoid criticism, just enough to maintain the status quo. But here's the thing about giving your best. It's not about being the best. It's about giving everything you've got. Let me tell you about Maria. She worked as a janitor at a large corporation. While others did the minimum, she cleaned those floors like they belonged in a palace. People laughed. They said, "Why try so hard? It's just cleaning." But every morning she'd tell herself, I give my best. Her exceptional work ethic caught the attention of management. Today, she manages operations for the entire building, leading a team of 50 people. When you tell yourself, I give my best every day, you're making a commitment to excellence. Not perfection, excellence. There's a difference. Perfection is about being flawless. Excellence is about giving your all, regardless of the task. Whether you're writing a report, making a sandwich, or cleaning a room, give it your best. Think about this. Everything you do becomes part of who you are. When you give less than your best, you're not just cheating others, you're cheating yourself. You're reinforcing the habit of mediocrity. But when you give your best, you build the habit of excellence. Giving your best looks different every day. Some days, your best might be 100%. Other days, when you're tired or stressed, your best might be 80%. That's okay. What matters is that you give whatever your best is at that moment. Don't compare today's best with yesterday's best. Just give today's best. Let's talk about something that scares most people: failure. We're taught to avoid it, run from it, hide from it. But here's what most people don't understand. Failure isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. Every failure is just feedback, showing you what needs to change, what needs to improve. I remember talking to John, A businessman who went bankrupt in his first venture. Instead of giving up, he told himself every day, I learned from failure. He studied his mistakes. He analyzed what went wrong. He made adjustments. His next business became a multi-million-dollar success, not despite his failure, but because of what he learned from it. When you tell yourself, I learned from failure, every day, you're changing how you see setbacks. Instead of seeing them as endpoints, you start seeing them as data points. Each failure becomes a lesson. Each setback becomes a setup for a comeback. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed 1,000 times before successfully inventing the light bulb. When someone asked him about his failures, he said, I haven't failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work. That's the mindset of someone who learns from failure. Here's what learning from failure looks like in practice. When something doesn't work out, don't just move on. Stop, reflect. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What could I do differently next time? What skill do I need to develop? Turn every failure into a lesson. Most people focus on who they are or who they want to be. But there's magic in the space between, in the process of becoming. When you tell yourself, I am becoming, you're acknowledging that you're a work in progress, that you're not finished yet, that your story is still being written. Take Marcus, a former addict who turned his life around. Every morning he'd look in the mirror and say, I am becoming. Not I am an addict or I will be clean someday, but I am becoming. Today he runs recovery programs, helping others transform their lives. He understands that becoming is a continuous journey. When you say, I am becoming every day, you're giving yourself permission to grow, to change, to evolve. You're acknowledging that who you are today isn't who you have to be tomorrow. You're embracing the process of transformation. This isn't about rejecting who you are. It's about accepting that you're capable of more. It's about understanding that every day brings new opportunities to learn, to grow, to become better than you were yesterday. Here's what it means to live in a state of becoming. It means staying curious. It means being open to new ideas. It means accepting that you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. It means understanding that every experience, every interaction, every challenge is shaping who you're becoming. Look around you. Every successful person you see started exactly where you are, with a choice. A choice about what to tell themselves every day. A choice about who they wanted to become. A choice about how they would respond to life's challenges. These 9 things: I am worthy. I choose growth. I embrace challenges. I control my reactions. I am patient. I trust my journey. I give my best. I learn from failure. And I am becoming. They're not just phrases. They're commitments. They're declarations. They're the building blocks of the life you want to create. Remember, what you tell yourself every morning sets the tone for your entire day. What you tell yourself every day sets the direction for your entire life. Your words become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your beliefs. Your beliefs become your actions, and your actions become your destiny. So tomorrow morning, when you look in that mirror, what will you tell yourself? Will you choose words that limit you or words that liberate you? Will you choose thoughts that shrink you or thoughts that stretch you? The choice is yours. It always has been. Now go out there and become everything you were meant to be. Not because it's easy, but because you're worth it. Because you're capable of it. Because you were made for it. Fall forward. Always fall forward. And remember, Your greatest moments don't just happen to you. They begin with what you tell yourself every single day. Stand tall, speak truth to yourself, and watch as your life transforms one morning, one word, one truth at a time.